My name is Mark Beauvais, and I've been part of the Celebrate Recovery ministry at Shiloh for the last 3.5 years. I met a friend who attended Shiloh, and I told him I was seeking help in recovery issues, and he told me about the CR meeting that took place at Shiloh on Tuesday nights. And the first time I walked in the door, I knew it was the place for me. Jesus said, "It's not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick." The Pharisees, Sadducees, and teachers of the law were criticizing him for hanging out with tax collectors and sinners. As it turns out, those tax collectors and sinners are just like me. Like the prodigal son sitting in the mud of the pig pen, longing to eat the seed pods that he was feeding the pigs, Scripture tells us that he came to his senses. That's the way it was with me. For me, this was a defining moment. I had to admit that I had a problem, I needed help, and I couldn't do it alone. I had the good fortune to come to my senses before these problems wreaked havoc and disaster in my life. But I had to respond. I had to take that step across the threshold into the Celebrate Recovery meeting. I'm glad I did. It says in Acts 17 that God is not far from each one of us, but it requires us to reach out to Him, and He will always be there to respond. That's what I find in the community of Celebrate Recovery. That's what the community of the church is for. If we do respond to Jesus' call, He'll take the messes we've made in our lives and He'll make them beautiful. In CR, we see miracles happen every week. When somebody stands up to get a 30-day chip, let's say they're struggling with alcohol, and they're celebrating 30 days of continuous sobriety, that's a miracle. And we see those miracles and Celebrate Recovery every week. God tells us that His power is made perfect in our weakness. To me, that means I have to admit and own my weaknesses and turn those over to Him. Then His power and strength can fill me to get to where I couldn't get on my own. God never wastes a hurt in our lives. In time, He'll use the pain that we've experienced in order to help others with similar problems. We weren't meant to do this alone. In fact, in isolation is where our problems intensify. We need community. We need one another. That's what Celebrate Recovery is to me. It's my community. That's what the church is. It's our community. And that is where we will find strength, that is where we will find healing, and that is where we will find recovery. But we have to reach back out and be reachable in order for that to happen. Because Shiloh has invested in the Celebrate Recovery ministry, it was recently recognized as being one of the best Celebrate Recovery meetings in the state of Arizona, in fact, in the western states of the U.S. That's because of the leadership of Tom and Elizabeth, who have been servant leaders in that ministry for many years. I am grateful to Shiloh that they have the Celebrate Recovery ministry, that they've stood behind it, because it's helping so many people in so many ways in their recovery and in their spiritual lives.